It's pronounced Emeya, and I figured we'd get that out of the way up front because it's one of the more curious aspects of this new Lotus GT. This is part of Lotus's reinvention as a more global mainstream performance brand, but will over 900 horsepower, a 0 to 60 time of less than 2.8 seconds, and 4 doors be enough to silence the haters? Let's dig into all the details and find out. The Emeya comes hot on the heels of the Elettra, which was Lotus's first SUV ever in all time, and so that made it a very radical departure. Lotus has at least made a 4-door sedan in the past, so the Emeya is a little bit less of a radical departure, but these two do share quite a bit, including 905 horsepower. That was the figure attributed to the Elettra Hyper SUV, and that's also what we're going to get here, plus 727 pound-feet of torque, which again is enough to bring this from 0 to 60 in 2.8 seconds. So it's going to be very quick, and they're obviously sharing a similar platform. We have a dual motor setup for all-wheel drive here, with a 2-speed transmission on the rear end of the Emeya here, giving it a top speed of 159 miles an hour, which is plenty quick for an electric car. But that's paired with a more luxurious, more sumptuous interior than we've seen from pretty much any Lotus before other than the Elettra, which will make this more of a grand touring, a GT car. Now, Lotus has not given us a curb weight on the Emeya yet, but on the Elettra, that was rated at 5,500 pounds, pretty heavy. So this is probably going to be similar, but it has a slightly smaller battery pack, over 100 kilowatt hours, just about 10 lower than the Elettra. But Lotus does say that that should be still delivering in the ballpark of 300 miles of range, so it should still be plenty for long touring, and again, all that grand touring detail. We've come around to the back of the Emeya, which I think is probably the most flattering angle for this car. Up front, it's maybe a little too busy for me with those stacked headlights and that big Kylo Ren looking nose on it. But at the back, things are a lot more simple. Everything kind of tapers into a nice smooth shape. But if you look a little more closely, there are plenty of details here that Lotus designers have added to help basically the aerodynamics of the car. Most noticeable are these perforations on the side you can actually put your hand into, and you can look down through there and see the tire. These are designed to pull some of the heat out from the brakes of the car. You can see them up front as well. Perforations all around, and a lot of other active aerodynamics built into the car, a lot like what we saw on the Elettra as well. Up front in the grille can open or close to add more cooling or more aerodynamics, depending upon whether speed or chillness is your priority. Right now, today, chillness would be my priority for sure. We've got an active front diffuser and a rear diffuser as well to increase dynamics. And also, you've got this spoiler that pops up too. Lotus says you can get about 475 pounds of downforce in maximum downforce mode, which should help this thing handle a little bit better when you're going high speed on the racetrack. But otherwise, it can kind of tuck everything in and get nice and slippery and smooth, and again, give you that 300 plus mile of range that they advertise. Sliding into the driver's seat, and the view is definitely dominated by a few different displays. In the middle, we have what looks to be the same 15.1-inch OLED display at 2560 by 1600 resolution. As on the Elettra, it's snappy and responsive just like before, powered by the Unreal Engine, which is running on not one but 2 Qualcomm SoCs. That's flanked by 2 more displays, ultra-widescreen ones that slot into the dashboard. The left serving as a passenger display, which they can use to control media, and on the right of this right-hand drive car, we've got the gauge cluster behind the steering wheel, giving me speed, range, and other basic information like that. Like on the Elettra, the interior here is quite ornate, but fresh and different, and I like it. I also like that the materials in here are made from recycled goods, which is a nice little touch in a not-so-little car. Now, Lotus hasn't given us any details on pricing for the Emeya, but given the Elettra is easily priced into 6 figures, don't expect the Emeya to be that much more affordable. Yes, it is a big change from the old Lotus cars that were small and lightweight and relatively affordable, sports cars, all of them, now into Lotus's big, heavy, expensive supercars. But I think this brand could grow on you, and it has to because it's trying to become more of a global mainstream success. Will this be a success? We'll find out next year because it's slated to go into production in 2024. What do you think? Does this Emeya tickle your fancy, even if it doesn't fit your budget? Let us know down in the comments. Like and subscribe for more, and as always, check out Engadget.com for all the details on the Emeya, the Elettra, and a whole lot more.